Hi everyone, welcome to the Ever-Seeking Empath. I'm a reader who uses tarot, oracle, and charms, and today's reading is the monthly predictions. So we're going to figure out what might be happening for you in May, what might be coming up, how to handle situations that arise, that kind of thing. But before we get started, I do want to remind everybody that this is a general reading, so it might not resonate for everybody. So just take the messages that you feel are meant for you and disregard the rest. Also, if you enjoy this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so, because it really does help the channel out, and then you get to see when I've posted new content. And thank you so much to those of you who have already subscribed. I just, as of filming this video right now, I am at 98 subscribers, I believe, so I'm just 2 away from 100, so make sure to hit that subscribe button if you have not already done so. So we have 3 piles here today. So pile 1 is this little kind of magical jar that looks like it's kind of leaking like magic or fairy lights or something out of it. Pile 2 is this crown with a big like jewel in it. And pile 3 is, it looks like it's in a forest or something with these 2 kind of rainbow crystals. So just let your intuition guide you to a pile. I'm going to put timestamps in the description box and in the comments below. And feel free to pause the video if you need more time to choose. But we're going to get started now with pile number 1. Hi pile 1. So if you chose the magical jar for your card, then this is your message. So we are going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. So stay tuned for that. So let's figure out what's happening for you in May. So before we start with your tarot, I'm going to put your tarot cards here. We're actually going to start with this card because these are actually little affirmation cards. So yours says, Hope Jar. I am full of hope and I take action. So yeah, that's awesome. I feel like that's saying, think positive about your future and like take action to get there. That's a really great way to enter a new month. But I want to see kind of what your tarot cards have to say. I want to see actually if they kind of link up with the cards as well, because I have not looked at these. So let's see. For your tarot, you have the Hierophant, the Empress, 3 of Wands, and the Devil. So yeah, I actually see your affirmation card kind of getting reflected in these already. So with the Devil here, I feel like you're feeling trapped right now. You're feeling like attached to something. There might be something toxic or someone toxic that you're trying to break free from or break away from. But it's something that you just feel like you have not been able to separate from, or you can't get it to leave your mind, or you just can't will yourself to get it out of your life. But with the Empress and the 3 of Wands, that's this huge sense of expansion and growth, because the 3 of Wands is definitely like manifesting something. Whatever you've been working on manifesting is coming in, and you're just waiting for the results to happen. Because notice she's got her surfboard and she's watching the waves, and there's some waves like starting here, so the beginning of it is happening. And with the Empress, that's very abundant energy, and something is growing and brewing, and she's about to give birth to like a new era of her life. So that's a really great energy to have. And with the Hierophant here, that makes me think, this particular card makes me think of ascension, because there's this stairway up here into kind of enlightenment. So I feel like with this person laughing, there's just going to be this kind of, I don't want to say like an aha moment, because I don't feel like it's like a light bulb moment, but just this moment where things kind of lift off of you and you just start laughing. Like that might actually happen for some of you, that you just feel like, oh, this is kind of where this is leading. That the pieces are going to start falling into place, and you're going to start recognizing why things have been happening the way that they did, and it's going to make it easier for you to move forward. But I want to see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have expecting miracles. Miracles are blossoming in my life. So yeah, that's definitely what's going on, is that you've got some really miraculous things happening. The Empress too is manifesting a miracle, that she's kind of ready to give birth any day. So this could be a literal birth, but most of the time I feel like it's representing like the birth of a new era or a new situation in your life, a new mindset, a new way of thinking. You have Cat Spirit, Claim Your Independence, number 13. So yeah, I feel like whatever this has kind of, whatever you felt attached to, you're breaking free from it. I think you're ready and willing to claim your independence from that, whether it's from a situation that doesn't work for you anymore, that you feel like you don't need that, or if it's like a person you're trying to break away from, or you're just leaving behind like a more dependent mindset and you're moving forward into feeling more self-sufficient. This is a really great card to get. So I feel like you are just moving forward into a much more empowered time period here. You have Breaking Trail, a breakthrough is at hand. So yeah, that's definitely sensing a breakthrough. I feel like that's kind of what I was sensing with that Hierophant card as well, is there's going to be kind of this spiritual breakthrough happening where even if it's not, seeing the results yet, like with this Three of Wands and even the Empress, she's still pregnant, and the Three of Wands, she's still waiting to see the results, but I feel like that they're coming. You're trusting that they're coming. So maybe that's what that Hierophant is talking about, is just that trust that it's coming, that you have faith in this situation and it's changing. You just have to be patient and wait for it to happen on its own time, but it's not far off. You have Passion and Pleasure, savor your life. So I feel like embracing joy is going to be important to you. That Hierophant is laughing as well. So maybe just, even like these people are doing, they're playing music and dancing around a fire and just like, turning to the people that they love and just not worrying about what other people think. They're just embracing what makes them feel good. And I think that that's going to be really helpful in helping you manifest this situation. You have Crow. So crows are very magical, and this particular crow actually has a gift. It's got like a pearl or something in its beak. So I feel like this is like a gift from the universe, that something is coming in, whatever you're trying to manifest, it's on its way in. And I feel like, with crows, they almost like trade for things. So if you feed a crow, a lot of the time they'll bring you like little trinkets or like shiny things or just things that they find, they're very intelligent creatures. And I feel like that might be kind of what's happening, is that you have to kind of show the universe that you are ready and willing to manifest something, and you have to give something to the universe first. So whether that's, showing the universe, okay, I'm going to break free of whatever this is that's holding me back. I'm going to claim my independence from this situation. I'm going to just embrace joy regardless of what's going on in my life. And then you'll be rewarded with some kind of gift. And then finally, you have your Ice Cream Oracle, which is White Chocolate Raspberry. Sensibility, decorum, elegance. So, I feel like for a lot of you, this might be breaking away from a toxic person, toxic people, or like a job that is not right for you, or something like that. But basically, I feel like this is saying you have to claim your independence and cut whatever this situation is off from your life, but do it in a classy way, in a very collected and graceful way, rather than like burning a bridge. I feel like this is just saying, take the high road, but you still can set a boundary. You can be firm without being cruel. And I just think, taking the high road in this situation and embracing that joy, not letting whoever this person is kind of bring you down to stoop to their level, or bring you down to stoop to the level of like, a really toxic job situation or something like that. But I feel like if you just maintain your kind of aura of like elegance and classiness, I think that this situation is going to turn out much better for you than if you like burn a bridge or want to kind of have a snarky comeback ready for somebody. I think it's going to be a lot better if you just take the high road and set a boundary firmly, but not do something petty, basically. So I want to get your charms to see some more detail. And we are using the heart today to figure out what's in the heart of the situation. So that might give us kind of a more pinpointed focus. So group 1, what's happening for you in May? Okay, so nothing landed in the heart. So this is one of those situations where I feel like it's probably just a different situation for everybody, but I'm going to get that out of the way. But I think a lot of the time that means to me that there's very scattered energy as well. So maybe it's down to you to focus your energy and figure out what you want first before you start to implement. So for your initials, you have Z and J. So those might stand out for some people. I'm seeing the word like jazz. Oh, also you have E as well. Jez. So like I feel like Jesse, Jessica, Jess, like just any kind of Jess name is kind of coming to mind, even though it's a Z and not an S. I'm seeing the word G's, like you're just kind of at the end of your rope and you're like just exhausted. I feel like a lot of you are just kind of in that mode where you're like, oh my goodness, like I can't handle this anymore. I'm done. And that's maybe your breaking point where you decide to cut this toxic situation out of your life. You have 14 and 29, so those could be significant dates for this month, so you might want to kind of make note of those. You have courageous, which is Aries energy. So you might be an Aries or someone involved might be an Aries. But that also just says be courageous, be brave and, that kind of be full of hope and I take action. So that action is very Aries energy as well. You have the cheerleader here, so I feel like you're definitely being cheered on. I think sometimes you might need to cheer yourself on or turn to people who are going to cheer you on, but I feel like this is just saying, yes, you can do it, go. Like it's extra support for you to do whatever this is however this resonates for you, this is supporting you. You're being supported in this. You have way to go, so I do feel like that's kind of an extra message connected with that cheerleader is you are getting cheered on, but it's also, I usually see it as like you're not sure which way to go. So like you're at a crossroads or the path diverges into multiple. So you're trying to figure out what path you want to walk down. You have the dream catcher here, so I feel like you're trying to figure out how to grasp your dream. Maybe you're not even sure what kind of thing you want to do, and so you're trying to figure out what would make you happy or fulfilled. And so that's kind of the point in the process you're at right now. And that's also kind of a dual message to maybe pay attention to your dreams at this time because you might be getting additional insights that way. The jug here has to do with filling up your emotional cup. So make sure that you are not draining yourself to take care of other people. Make sure that you take care of yourself first and then allow the overflow to kind of spill into other people's emotional cups afterwards. But make sure you're taking care of yourself first. You have the golfer who kind of sent energy out to the universe and is now watching as it moves. So I do feel like maybe you have sent you've kind of sent that manifestation out to the universe that you want something or you're expecting something, and now that expectation is going to come back to you. So now that crow is going to come flying in, like in your crow card, and bring you the gift that you desire. You have the little whisk broom, so that just talks about like tidying up, cleaning up a situation. So maybe there's some loose ends that need tying up, or you have to kind of just get some things in order before you can make this big move. And then finally, a really great energy to end on, you have the star here. So that is faith and hope. You did have the I am full of hope, and this is the hope jar. So that's very much the star energy. So that's just extra emphasis on that just hang on to your hope. Things are changing for you, even if you don't see evidence of it yet. But I do think that your mindset and your emotional state this month are definitely going to improve. So even if you don't see physical changes resulting from whatever decision you're making this month, you will feel that emotional shift. So group 1, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. I hope May is fantastic for you, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi group 2, so if you chose the crown, then this is your message. So we are going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end, so stay tuned for that. So let's figure out what's happening for you in May. And before we do your tarot, I'm actually going to show you what's on the back of this card because these are actually little affirmation cards. So in group 1, it resonated with the reading, so I want to see what this one says. So it says the Crown, I am a good leader. So maybe you're going to be in more of a position of leadership this month, or you might have to lead the way for some other people in some regard, or just take the lead, take the reins back on directing your own life again. But let's see what your cards have to say. So for your tarot, you have the Two of Cups, Five of Wands, the Emperor, and the Four of Wands. So yeah, I'm already seeing leadership here because the Emperor is like the leader card. So I think that's hilarious. The Emperor is also Aries energy, if that's important to anybody, or if that resonates with you. But in this particular reading, I'm getting the sensation of just like there's a lot of chaos going on around you and you're trying to wrangle it. So this might be you trying to kind of get a hold of your thoughts, or just collect your energy or get yourself organized somehow. But there's something about you having to kind of be structured and disciplined to bring harmony to a situation that is currently chaotic. So I would guess that for most of you, this is with other people, because we have the Two of Cups, we have the Four of Wands, we have the Five of Wands. That's all cards that are usually referring to getting together with other people in some regard. This Five of Wands, you can even see, is just very chaotic. There's a lot of like struggling and kind of conflict going on. They're in a competition. They're trying to kind of all be seen or heard, or be the best, and none of them is really coming out on top quite yet. That's just, everyone is, it's just this very chaotic energy. But then with the Two of Cups and Four of Wands, so Two of Cups is often soulmate energy. It's like a new connection, and that doesn't have to be romantic soulmate. It can be friends or family or anything, but just with people who you feel are meant to be in your life, that you just feel like they're kindred spirits, you get them, you understand them. It's just very easy and harmonious. And then the Four of Wands is also very harmonious, but it's often like a celebration of a milestone. So whether that's like a promotion or an engagement, or you finished a project, or you moved somewhere new, there's just this very joyful energy there. So I do feel like you're in a position in May where you might have to be the one to facilitate this kind of transition from chaotic energy to much more harmonious and joyful energy. But let's see what your oracle cards have to say, because this can be in any kind of situation. It can be work, it can be amongst friends or family, it can be just your own personal life, but I think that's you are in charge this month. So you have breaking barriers. I am expanding beyond limitations into joy and freedom. Okay, wasn't I just saying joy here? So I love synchronicities like that. But yeah, there's definitely a sense of expansion here. I feel like you've maybe felt very limited for a while, maybe because of whatever this conflict was. It's just you felt like you weren't getting anywhere. But now I think you are going to have some kind of breakthrough. You have Flamingo Spirit, embrace the in-between, number 26. So maybe you've just had to be kind of in a limbo stage for a while. And maybe that's part of your plan here, because the Emperor is very much a planner. He doesn't just fly by the seat of his pants into a situation and, wing it. He's very structured, very disciplined, very much planning ahead. So I feel like maybe part of the plan has been to just sit and take stock of the situation to start, that you're in an in-between phase right now. You're not fully in the past, you're not truly in the future yet, you're just very much in the present, taking stock, and like that's kind of forcing you to take a pause. We don't have like the Hanged Man here, but that's kind of the energy that I'm getting from that card, is just that kind of limbo energy, that you're strung between two periods, the before and after, and you're just stuck between there. You have miracles, expect the wondrous to emerge. So that's definitely a really great energy kind of coming in, that you've got some really positive energy coming in. You might have some wishes being fulfilled this month. So maybe there's something you've been wishing for, like this harmony. Maybe you've been wishing for like a new connection or a celebration or a promotion or something, But in order to get there, you have to take charge. You have to be that leader. And so this is saying, I think that you've made that decision to become a leader. And if you haven't, I feel like maybe this is that kind of extra nudge to get you to do that. But this is saying that the wondrous will emerge once you make that choice. You have torch. So the first thing that came up with this is carrying a torch for someone. So because I'm looking at that Two of Cups card, so this could have to do with a romantic relationship for some of you, that you're still carrying a torch for somebody and you're having to take the lead on connecting with them. And it could also be just like a friend that you've really wanted to have, or somebody you've wanted to get to know better. And so you are taking the lead on getting to know them better. But this also has to do with passion and drive and just moving forward, having the courage to move towards your dreams. So I think that you are going to gather that courage and you're going to move forward, because we've got this, and I'm just noticing this too. Okay, I love this kind of like breeze that's moving through both of these cards. It's funny because these are both number 4, and 4s are about stability, but there's still this movement here. We don't have stagnancy like we do in some of the other 4 cards. This is very vibrant emotion in the 4 of Wands. And then the 4 in the Emperor here, he's very still, but you can see that the gears are turning. You can see this kind of like spiritual energy coming through him. I wouldn't necessarily call him the most spiritual card, but I feel like there's this passion that's driving him forward too, that's kind of coming through. So I'm almost seeing the flame in this torch card kind of taking on the same shape as the wind that's coming through here. So that's kind of why I connected those. It's just, there's this very fiery energy going through that I feel like is a very vibrant, passionate energy, but it's maybe underlying. Maybe you're not going to see this kind of wild dancing when you achieve what you want. Maybe it's going to be a lot more subtle. Oh, and I'm seeing the same kind of like wispy wind here coming up out of the genie's lamp. So yeah, I think that's just confirmation. It's very positive energy. But yeah, I think that you are going to achieve what you want. It just might not look exactly like you expect it to, but I think you are pretty much guaranteed success if you are the one taking the lead on this, that you go at it in a very structured, disciplined way. And then finally, your ice cream oracle card is Rocky Road. Adventure, preparation, challenge. So the Emperor is always up for a challenge, and the 5 of Wands is definitely a challenge. And with this word preparation here, that's what I was talking about with the Emperor not flying by the seat of his pants. He plans things out. He is very much someone who comes in prepared. He's got like a whole like manifesto that he's written up on what he wants to achieve. He's got spreadsheets and things like that too. That he's very organized. He's very prepared. And I think that that's going to enable you to be a good leader, because we've got this, I am a good leader. So that's definitely big energy that came through in your cards, at least in this reading. And I think that this is going to feel a bit like an adventure. You might not really know what to expect, because Rocky Road has all these different components in it and different textures. So I feel like you might not ever know exactly what's coming next, but I think you're looking forward to it. It's a very enjoyable adventure. It's not as intimidating as it might be. But I want to get your charms now for some more information. And we are using the heart to figure out what's in the heart of this situation. So maybe just some more focused detail on this situation. So group 2, what's happening for you in May? Okay. So we had like not much coming out at first, and then a bunch came out all at once. So that might be kind of the way that this energy happens, or whatever the situation is might kind of occur that way. You have the letter Y in the heart here. So there could be like an initial or a place, or just some word might come to mind with the letter Y. I'm thinking of the word yes. Like you're saying yes to this, and that's going to enable you to make this happen. Is you have to make the decision that yes, this is something you want first. But I'm also thinking of the word why. Like, why is this happening, or why did this happen? I wonder if that's why you're stuck in the in-between, is you are trying to figure out what went wrong so that you can implement something differently to make it more harmonious in the future. We've got the pipe here, and that definitely makes me think of the Emperor a lot of the time. It's very much like distinguished professor energy is kind of what I think of. Very intelligent, very wise, very structured about the way that they're going about things. They might be kind of traditional, that kind of thing. So I do feel like I'm also picturing like a guy smoking a pipe in a library or in a study. So maybe turning to books to help you figure out how to implement this might be helpful for you. So just kind of keep that in mind. A trip to the library might be in your future, basically. We have the owl here kind of perched on the branch, and that has to do with listening to your inner wisdom, maybe listening to a wise person. But I do feel like this is primarily your wisdom. And the main reason is because you have the crown underneath. So that is your own sovereignty over your own life. That is being in a position of power, that is taking control. So that's definitely like major emphasis on that Emperor energy. That's where I wanted to focus this reading. That's just where I was feeling drawn to. You have this leadership energy in the card, and then that's what was focused on in your heart. So I feel like that's definite emphasis on be a leader, take sovereignty over the situation and over your life. And then if that was not enough emphasis, you also have this big crown here. So extra emphasis on that and extra like confidence as well. So you have the little handcuff here that says freedom. So I feel like if you're feeling trapped in a situation, this is saying, you have the key to get yourself out of this. I think you might be sitting there. We didn't have the Eight of Swords, but that's often feeling trapped, but having the power to get yourself out. That's what this is talking about, that you have the power to change your life right now, so use it. You have the double stars here, so that's extra like wishes coming true energy, like we were talking about with that miracles card. But also this can often have to do with something a little more performative. So maybe being in a position of like being in the public eye or public speaking, something like that. You have the car here, which is chariot energy. So going after what you want, overcoming obstacles. You have the bird here. So this is like swift communication. So maybe you need to communicate to somebody else or a message is coming into you quite quickly. But remember to take a break as well, because you have the palm tree and you also have the little cannabis leaf here. So that has to do with just making sure that you're taking time to kind of relax and unwind and chill a little bit, because a lot of the time if you're very disciplined and very structured in the way that you make things happen, if you're in a position of power, that means a lot more stress. So make sure that you are doing things to de-stress at the end of the day. You have the lighthouse here. So most of the time I feel like this is guidance for you coming in, but I feel like in this case, because you are in this leadership position, this is you being a beacon for other people. So I think that your light is going to help other people find their way to whatever they're trying to do as well. You have the little affectionate cat here. So I'm always picturing like my cats like kind of vibrate their tails when they are happy to see me. So maybe there is somebody in your life that's happy to see you or that you're happy to see. So with that Two of Cups card as well, that's kind of very similar, just a very affectionate, loving energy here. You have the little bear and bear cub, so that has to do with getting support, oftentimes having like a parent or a family member or somebody who provides you with comfort. It could also be like a parent-child situation, so if you're a parent or if you're connecting with your parents, or if you just have that kind of relationship even with a friend where you feel like you're always parenting them, that might be resonating for you. And then finally you have the feather here. So that is a symbol of signs and synchronicities for me. So I personally see feathers when things are changing in my life. You might also be seeing some signs of, hey, this is what I'm meant to do. This is what I want to do. I'm being supported, things like that. So keep an eye out if there's ever anything that just feels like a message for you. So that could be feathers, it could be a certain animal, like a certain bird, it could be something just appearing in a really weird place, or like a song lyric that stands out, but it's going to be different for everyone, but just kind of keep that in mind. So group 2, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope May treats you very well, that it's awesome for you, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi, Group 3. So, if you chose the crystals in the forest, then this is your message. So, we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end, so stay tuned for that. So, let's figure out what's happening for you in May. So, before we even start with your tarot, we are actually going to read what's on the back of this card because these are actually little affirmations cards, and groups 1 and 2 resonated a lot with their readings, so let's figure out what yours says. So yours is Shield of Crystals. I am loved and protected. So maybe you need to remind yourself right now that you are loved. Maybe you're having some doubts over your self-worth. Maybe you're feeling very affected by other people's energies at the moment. So just make sure that you recognize that you are loved, you are protected. Take some care to protect your energy, protect your space, protect your mental health as well. But let's see what your tarot cards have to say. So you have the Lovers. Okay, that fits very well with being loved and protected. Ace of Swords. The Hermit. And the Sun. So that's crazy. You have 3 majors and then an ace. So that's really big, powerful energy here. So I'm getting this sense of like an epiphany or like, trying to get some clarity on a situation here because you have the Hermit. So I feel like maybe you're needing to take some time this month to really think about what's important to you, what a situation is, like maybe what you want. You're just trying to get answers on something, and the Ace of Swords says that you will get it. I feel like you might have to dig for a while before you reach it because her head here is like the spiral, so it's just you have to dig and dig and dig to really get down there, but I feel like you will reach a point where you get clarity because you have the Sun. So the Sun not only represents joy and happiness and success, but also clarity. So I feel like you will get clarity on whatever situation you're asking about, and for many of you it might have to do with love because you do have the Lovers. So the Lovers is also very powerful energy since it is a major. This often has to do with soulmates. It can have to do with just making a choice as well. But usually I see it as making a choice regarding love in some form. So for most people, it's probably romantic love, but for you, it could be friendship love or familial love, some kind of love. It could even be self-love, but it's just a very powerful type of love. So however that resonates. But I feel like maybe you're trying to get clarity on what you want, or like I do feel like there is probably a choice that you're trying to make because the Lovers is often a choice. So maybe you are just trying to figure out how you actually feel and then use that information to figure out what you want. But let's get your oracle cards. So you have Exceeding Expectations. I soar into excellence. So I love how that's paralleling, if that's a word, paralleling. That sounds really awkward to say. But she's in the same position as the girl in the Sun. Like they're both arms outstretched, just ready to receive. They're on top of the world. Like she literally looks like she's on top of the world. But they're both just like embracing this sense of joy and feeling successful. So I feel like whatever you are embarking on to, or like setting out to do, you will be successful. I think it's going to be better than you expect. So if it's like, you need to have a conversation with somebody about where do we stand, it's going to turn out better than you expect. Now that may or may not mean that you end up with this person, but overall it's going to mean that you will be very happy with the outcome. You have Mending Bridges. I heal rifts. I am a mender. So yeah, I do feel like for many of you, this has to do with some sort of relationship. So again, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, but I think most people who look for kind of relationship info in tarot readings are often looking for romantic relationships, but just keep in mind it doesn't have to be romantic because conflicts arise in any kind of relationship we have with people. But this is just saying it's time to heal those rifts, especially I feel like with this card popping out, the I am loved and protected, you might feel like somebody maybe didn't pull through for you, and you're having to maybe take the first step to mend this, or somebody is offering you, like extending an olive branch to you, and you're trying to figure out if you really want to accept it. But I think you are going to decide to mend this. So whether that means mending it and moving away from each other, or mending it and coming back together, that's up to you. You have Rabbit Spirit, now is a lucky time, number 49. So yeah, that's definitely more like really positive energy. I think that you might feel a little kind of bleh at the beginning of the month, and it doesn't have to be only at the beginning of the month, but with the Hermit, I feel like there's this clarity needed before you can move forward into this sense of joy. So you might feel kind of in the dark for a little bit, but this isn't necessarily a melancholy, lonely card. It can be just very much inwardly focused. But I do think that once you do that, your luck is going to multiply because you have the baby rabbits here, and as most people know, rabbits multiply insanely. They just like go crazy with having babies. So, but this is saying now is a lucky time. You are going to have a lot of luck coming your way. Things are really going to start getting better and better and better for you. And again, it's going to exceed your expectations. And then you also have Koala Spirit. Spirit has a plan, number 35. So yeah, I feel like this is one of those situations where you might not be able to see that far ahead. Maybe that's why you're looking for clarity in that Ace of Swords. But I feel like there's definitely a plan in place here, that there's some things that have not been revealed to you yet and that they're not quite meant to be revealed to you. But then I feel like you're almost going to get bombarded by really positive energy and positive outcomes. You have Faraway Places, get ready for new horizons. So yeah, I feel like this is definitely like you are embarking on some sort of new adventure, something you've never done before, whether that's moving forward on your own or moving forward with someone, moving to a new place, moving into a new career path, but there's just some big change that's happening that you just feel like there's all this unknown energy. You don't know what's beyond these mountains, but you're just going to sail anyway. And that's what this Koala Spirit says. Spirit has a plan, that things are going to turn out, but you have to trust that things will work out and that you don't have to know everything about what's coming before you decide to embark on this adventure. You have Stone. So you might kind of feel a little bit stuck right now. And this is also making me think of like just having an obstacle in your way and you're trying to figure out how to get over it or around it or, break it up so that you can kind of get through it. Like whatever way to get around this obstacle, whether that's destroy the obstacle or just find a way around it. But I think that's maybe what's keeping you kind of still right now, and that's maybe why you need to look inward to figure out, is this really an obstacle? Is it an illusion? What's the best way to go about this? There's a lot of like inward focused thinking that has to happen and maybe some planning, but I think most of it just has to do with connecting to your inner knowing. I think that will help you overcome whatever this obstacle is. And then finally, for your ice cream oracle card, you have Avocado, self-care, beauty, healing. So yeah, there's so much healing energy here because we have I heal rifts, I am a mender. And we also have healing in this ice cream oracle card. So I do feel like this is something that you are healing, most likely with somebody else, but this could even be healing your own sense of self-worth. So if you have felt very unworthy of love or have felt like people never come through for you, therefore no one else will in the future, this is your chance to heal that. And I think May is going to be a really great month for you to work on that. And I think you're going to notice some results. And this is probably a good affirmation for you to practice saying, I am loved and protected. A lot of the time, just saying words out loud can really help us. And I think some of you might even kind of be integrating that into your self-care routines. But I think focusing on yourself and focusing on your self-care is going to really help you kind of move forward in whatever direction you want to go in. And I think that's why the Hermit was the first card that kind of popped out to me, is that you really need to focus inward before you can move on to anything else. But I want to get your charms now for some more detail, and I am using the heart today to figure out what's in the heart of the situation, so maybe some extra focus for your situation here. So group 3, what's happening for you in May? Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of like kind of self-focus right now because you got in the heart the rainbow fish. So this has to do with just celebrating your individuality, your uniqueness, not being ashamed to show who you are, even if it means that you stand out like crazy from other people. It means embrace that. Really focus on what you love about yourself and make sure that some of those things you love about yourself are unique qualities that not everybody has, because everybody has unique qualities. You just have to embrace them and not feel the need to cover them up, because I feel like for many of you, you're trying to hide who you are from the people around you, and then that makes it kind of fall into a spiral where then you feel like people don't care about you, but you're not even showing them the real you. So I think you need to start getting comfortable with being a little more vulnerable with people, because you do have the word no here as well. That's kind of popping out to me. So I do feel like a lot of you are very hesitant. Some of you might even be like, no, I'm not doing that as you're watching the video. But just this is saying, I think you have to step out of your comfort zone a little bit to get something that you've never felt like you've had before. For your significant dates this month, you have the 27th and the 15th. So those might be significant. You might want to write those down or just take note of them. You have Leo energy here. So you might be a Leo, or someone involved might be a Leo, but this also says generous. So in this case, I feel like you might have to be generous with someone else. Someone might be generous with you. That might help you to heal this situation, whatever it is, and help it exceed your expectations. But overall, I feel like you might just have to kind of extend some generosity to someone, even if that someone is yourself. Be a little more generous with how much love you are showing to yourself or to somebody else. You have V and Y for your letters. So I'm also thinking the word vie. So maybe you're vying for something that you've never had before. But I'm also, even though we don't have an I here, I'm seeing the name Ivy. So some of you might know an Ivy, or you might be an Ivy. But I feel like that might be significant for a few of you. You have a couple of stars here, so that's definitely a really good omen, because that's a lot of hope and faith and things getting better, the light after a dark time. You have the palm tree here, so again, self-care, healing, just taking a break, sometimes not pushing yourself too hard. You have the ambulance as well, so that's more healing. And make sure that you are making a practice of healing and not waiting until it is an emergency, because I think a lot of the time it's easy to push off self-care until you absolutely need it, that you are at your wit's end, you can't push any further, and then it takes you longer to recover in the end because you've pushed yourself so much. So make sure that you're making it part of your routine to maintain it, rather than, it's like when you drive a car, you're not going to let it run out of gas and then have to go to the gas station and come back with a can of gas and, pour that into your cart. You want to make sure that you're filling it up regularly when you start getting low. You have the bunny here, which I love because you had the rabbit card. So to me, that's just further emphasis on this being a lucky time for you, and that the positive things in your life are going to start multiplying rather rapidly. You have actually a couple people doing like yoga or gymnastics or something here. So I do feel like you have to stop bending over backwards for people who maybe would not bend over backwards for you. Maybe that's why you're having to remind yourself that you are loved and protected, because I think a lot of you are overextending yourselves. And then this girl is stretching. So I feel like, again, self-care, and just making sure that you are taking care of yourself, your body, your mental health, not pushing yourself until you just collapse. You want to make sure that you're kind of taking care of yourself. And I'm also thinking of like flexibility, like being a little bit flexible, not being so rigid that if things are not exactly the way that you want them, that you just dismiss it as unworthy. Things might happen in a different way than you expect, but it might be better than you expect. You got that exceeding expectations. So even if it doesn't look like you're necessarily hoping it will, it could end up better than you had even dreamed. You have the butterfly, so that has to do with transformation and change, turning into what you are meant to be, turning your life into what it is meant to be. You have the sunflower, so that's pretty much just like the sun. So that's, again, positivity, success, clarity, just a lot of very joyful energy here. You have the covered wagon, so that's funny because that's like new frontiers is always what I think of with that. And then you got the faraway places, get ready for new horizons. So that's seriously like so many synchronicities here. And then finally, you got the heart with the rose. So I feel like, yeah, a lot of you, it's just you're needing to show yourself some extra love and compassion right now. I think a lot of you might have some like blocked heart chakras if you're into like chakra work. So you might want to kind of take care of that in some way, but just show yourself some love. And I think that's going to help you show other people love as well. Because I think many of you are at the point where you're starting to welcome in new people, like better people for your life and for yourself. But I think you have to allow them in. You have to allow yourself to get vulnerable, and that usually starts with working on yourself first. So, group 3, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope May is fantastic for you, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.